my friend, grab your coffee, your cocoa, your peppermint tea, whatever makes you feel a tiny bit nostalgic, because today we're talking about Christmas. Not the pretty Pinterest perfect version, but the Christmas most of us grew up with. The louder and the slower one. The slightly chaotic but magical one. And the one I'm realizing I kind of miss, and maybe you do too. So let's dive in. So here's what started it all for me. My daughter and I were watching the movie Red One the other night, and Dwayne Johnson's character is kind of over Christmas. He just can't see the magic anymore, the wonder, the joy, the softness underneath the chaos. And I felt that in my chest more than I expected. Because this year, I didn't put up a tree. For the first time in 50 years. Okay, almost 50 years. Not because I didn't have time, but because I just wasn't feeling it. And the moment I realized that, my heart sank. Because I don't want Christmas to become just another day. I don't want adulthood to flatten all the places where wonder used to live. Sure, joy shouldn't be reserved for one season. We want to feel it all year round. But Christmas hits differently. And I didn't want to lose that. Not just for myself, but for my daughter. So I asked myself, how do I bring that feeling back? I thought about how recently I put together a guided quest for my daughter's soccer Christmas party, where the girls had to work together to complete tasks, not for perfection, rather for the enjoyment of it, the bonding. I didn't want it to feel basic or boring. I wanted these girls to feel together, to communicate, to laugh, to get lost in the chaos with one another. And as they ran around, shrieking and giggling and smiling with those big 12-year-old smiles, my heart warmed. That felt like Christmas. Not the gifts, not the decorations, not the perfect table setup, but the togetherness, the shared chaos, the goofy teamwork, the magic of people being people with each other. And then my adult brain whispered, okay, yeah, but how do you bring that joy into your adult world, where chaos usually means messes and more work? And that question, well, that one hung in the air for a while before I was able to answer it. I began reminiscing of the Christmases I grew up with. They felt so incredibly different, simple and slightly erratic at the same time. So picture this. It's the mid to late 80s. The Christmas is leaning like it's had a long, drunken night. We've all had one of those trees. None of them stood up perfectly. The lights are tangled in that if you just shove them in far enough, no one will notice kind of way. And there's tinsel everywhere, like silver string parade marched its way through the living room. What a mess. But what a fun mess. Your mom is lighting a candle that smells like cinnamon and pure aerosol. Your dad is trying to fix the VCR tracking for like the 9,000th time just so that you can record a Christmas Story or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'll pick your era. And you're on the floor with a bowl of cereal for dinner at 9 p.m. because, let's face it, seasonal rules simply did not apply. No one is recording, at least not until the gifts were being opened. No one is curating. They're just existing with the excitement and calm that can only live in the moments that led up to Christmas Day. No one is comparing their Christmas to anyone else's because nobody cared what was happening outside of their snow globe. It's just a moment. And it was enough. Back then, our gifts had weight. Teddy Ruxpin, My Little Pony, Care Bears, Light Bright, the original Nintendo, if you will. And every single one felt like magic. The simpler the tech was, the louder the memories felt. But here's the piece that got me. When I look back at those Christmases, it's not the toys that I miss. It's the presents. It's the slowness. It's that weird piece that came from everyone being in their own little bubble of chaos, wrapping paper everywhere, half-built toys, instructions no one can understood were crumbled up somewhere in the corner. But somehow, you felt calm. Nowadays, we've got invisible checklists running through our minds 24/7. Did I forget something? Did I do enough? Did I give them enough? Is there still something more I have to do? Tell me I'm not alone in this. Back then, we were in the moment. Now we're observers of the moments, archivists, project managers. And I think a lot of us are grieving that without ever saying it out loud. I know I am. But here's the beautiful part. And this is what shook me awake. The magic wasn't because of the decade, or the toys, or the soundtrack. Though let's be honest, once Mariah Carey entered that list, none of us have known peace since. The magic happened because we were present enough to notice it. So the turning point for me was this. Nostalgia isn't about wanting to go back. It's about remembering the version of you that could still feel wonder. We can't recreate the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s, but we can recreate the feeling. Slower, softer, willing to play a little, open to imperfect joy, less afraid of the mess, because the magic has never been in the wrapping paper. It has always been in the way we lived inside the moment. And we can reclaim that today. I want you to think of one Christmas memory from childhood, teenage years, or early adulthood that still warms something inside of you. Hold it for a second. What feeling did that moment give you? Peace, excitement, wonder, belonging? Now ask yourself, what is one small way you can bring that same feeling into this year? Not as a recreation of the past, but as a gift to the present version of you. Maybe that looks like baking something imperfect, watching an old Christmas movie without multitasking, playing the music you grew up with, digging out a retro ornament, setting your phone down for an hour and placing it on Do Not Disturb, letting joy be simple, not curated. Nostalgia isn't about going back. It's about remembering who you were and honoring who you are now. If today's episode tugged at your heart even a little, share it with someone who remembers dial-up internet, blockbuster nights, or the more you know public announcements. And if you want more of this cozy, reflective, slow magic energy, tap follow, leave a review, subscribe, or check out our shop so we can keep building this warm little corner together. Here's your sip of the day. Joy doesn't always shrink with age. Sometimes it's just waiting for you to slow down enough to feel it again. All right, friend, take a breath. Find one tiny moment of presence today and let the nostalgia soften you. Not because the past was perfect, but because the present still deserves attention. Until next time, sip slow, be well.